Hi everybody, my name is Bree and welcome back to my channel, Bree's Arts. So today we are going to be doing something just a little bit different. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm walking through any store, whether it be Walmart or Michael's or even HomeSense, I'll be going through the aisles and I'll see stuff and I'll be like, I can make that, I can make that, I can make that. So what we're gonna do is, a couple of days ago, I was just, shopping in Walmart and I saw a few things that I wanted to recreate. So basically what this is a look for less video, which I haven't done before. So I'm very, very excited. So of course I've used mostly Dollar Tree and Dollarama items, and these DIYs are super, super easy. So with that being said, let's jump into the first DIY. All right, you guys, here we go. DIY number one. So this I saw at Walmart there, and it's $40, but it's absolutely beautiful. And I was like, I can 100% make that. So just taking 4 of these little boxes that you can get at the Dollar Tree, I just sanded them up. They tend to be just a little bit rough. And then I am going to use the E6000 and some hot glue. So you guys know E6000 for the permanent hold and hot glue for the immediate hold. And we're just gonna, smush them together. Now, the thing about these boxes too is that I had to go, I have a stash of them, and I did have to go through quite a few of them just to get ones that actually were the same size. It was tricky, but I did find 4 that were pretty much the same size. And so what I'm doing here, just taking some wood filler and going through, filling in the cracks as best as I can here. Now, again, like I said, they're not exactly square, so I couldn't get them perfect, but they were good enough for me. And you can see I started with the popsicle stick to spread it, and then I'm like, nah, I'm using my fingers. Let's stop messing around here. So just trying to fill in all of the cracks on the sides as well. And then we are going to set that aside to dry. And then I took another one of the centers of those little drawers and I just tore it apart because I wanted to make sure that nothing could fall through the drawers of my little, jewelry box thing. So I'm just cutting down the pieces so that they will fit inside each one of those boxes and we can seal up that hole. And just use some hot glue and put it in there. It actually worked out really, really good, you guys. And I'm showing all 4 apparently. And there we go. So here, after the wood filler is all dry, just sanding that down, making it nice and smooth. And it actually worked out really, really well to, hide those cracks. And I did the back too, the whole thing. It didn't completely hide it, but it was good enough. Sand, 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 sand. All right, now we are going to paint up all of the drawers with our white chalk paint, inside, outside, front, back, sides, everything. And a snap. Look at that, all done. And now I am going to make my own stain because I thought that just using the Antique Wax by Folk Art, it was a little bit too dark. So I'm using the Antique Wax, and then I am going to use a little bit of a color called Sandstorm, and that's also by Folk Art. It gives it kind of a, you know, a gray kind of look, I guess. It's a brownish gray. And then mixing that up, and I found that that was just a little bit too light now. So now I'm adding some dark brown and some water to create this stain. And I think it came out really pretty. It's such a nice color. And then with having the wax and the water in there, it doesn't dry as quickly. So it's basically just like the wax. It worked great, you guys. I love it. So I'm going to cover the entire outside of it, putting it on first, then spreading it around with the baby wipe. And I just love how this color turned out. So I did paint that whole thing. And now to recreate the pattern that was on the front of each one of the drawers in the inspiration piece, I'm just using these wall decals from Dollar Tree, and they were perfect. So I just traced it out and then cut out a square. Now there's only 2 patterns. I know that the inspiration piece, it had 4 different patterns on each of the drawers, but this worked out so perfect. So just sticking those on there centered. And then I am just going to sand the edges down, going in a downward motion. And then I do end up kind of distressing it with the sanding block on the top as well, just so it's not as bright and it gives it, you know, a little bit more of a worn look. So we're going to do that to all 4 of the drawers. And then I am putting, I did put 2 layers of Mod Podge over top just to seal those stickers down so that they weren't going to come off. And it worked out really well, you guys. So these beads I got at Dollarama. These are awesome. There's a whole bunch of different kinds of beads in there, squares and circles, and this one has like some ridges. So all I'm doing, and I don't know why I did it this way, you guys. I usually put it in my foam thing with a skewer to do my beads, but I use the same stain that I had made before. And now to make little legs for our little stand, I just used some cubes from the Dollar Tree, painted up in the same stain. And here I'm just putting the knobs on. And these are little brads that I've had in my stash forever, just to cover up the hole in each one of our little knobs here, just to kind of give it a finishing touch. So just a little bit of hot glue in there, stick the brad in, it worked perfectly. And I would definitely suggest not just using hot glue to put the knobs on. Definitely use super glue. I used hot glue for this purpose, but then when I pulled on it, the knob came off. So definitely use super glue. And that's it, you guys. Like, look at that. Isn't it so cute? So here is the side-by-side. The one from Walmart was like 40 bucks, and I did mine for $6. Insane. I absolutely love it. Okay, here we go. DIY number 2. So I saw this welcome sign at Walmart there as well. Of course, thinking I can totally make that. So I found these really nice canvases at the Dollarama, and I believe they're 8 by 20. That's how big they are. So I'm just going to take off all of the staples and remove the actual canvas part, just leaving the frame. Now these frames are super high quality. I was so impressed when I took the canvas off. I did have to sand them down just a titch, just to smooth them out just a little. And look how nice those frames are. I'm so impressed. My goodness. Dollarama, up in the game. And I don't know why I'm showing you guys so much sanding. Oh, yes. Okay, Brie, get on with it. There we go. And I am using that same stain that I made for the first DIY there. And we are going to completely paint up the entire frame using that stain. So again, apply it, and then I will take a baby wipe and, you know, just spread it around, lighten it up just a little bit. Isn't that a pretty color? I love this. Love it. It's so nice. So paint up the entire frame, front, back, sides, yada, yada, yada. And now these are garden stakes that I got at Dollarama as well. Or like, I guess, you know, you'd put them in, like put carrots and peas and, you know, onions, whatever, on them in your garden. And so I'm just measuring off, and we're going to cut a whole bunch of this to make that kind of lattice pattern that was on the inspiration piece. So I just measured one of them, and I am going to tape them all together and use my miter box to cut them down. So there we go. And just sand down the edges, make sure they're nice and smooth. And it worked like a charm. And I am taking the longer ones, so putting one in about the center just to see how long I have to cut the horizontal stakes that we're gonna put on there as well. And same deal, tape them up, and then using my miter box to cut them down. And of course, using that same stain, we are going to stain all of our little wood pieces here up. Front and back, all the sides, you guys know the drill. These stakes worked perfectly too. A lot of people on YouTube use the painter sticks. I cannot find the Walmart painter sticks at all. Like, I swear we don't even have them. So now I'm just measuring out the center and just putting the vertical pieces down. I think there's 8 of them, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, excuse me, 9. 9 of them going vertically across our sign. And just hot gluing those into place here. And then doing the same with the horizontal ones. Now, they don't attach to the edges of the frame, but that's okay. Once you put a hanger on the back, it really doesn't matter if they don't completely line up. But look at that, doesn't that look great? The lattice worked out perfectly. Ooh, love it. And these little stakes too, they have kind of a nice wood grain in them, like some of them do. So, you know, it looks really, really nice, you guys. There we go, lattice complete. Just like that. And so I got this galvanized metal welcome sign from the Dollar Tree. I think it came in the one around Thanksgiving. And I'm just using my dabby brush and white chalk paint. And I did give it 2 coats. It gives it kind of a, when you use that dabby brush, it gives it a little bit of a texture. Now this is when I wish that I had the Cricut maker, because I would have made a much bigger welcome like out of the balsa wood, but I do not have one. So this, you know, worked just fine. It's not as big as the inspiration piece, but you know, it worked really well. And so just taking some super glue, we know that hot glue and metal do not work very well together. And this super glue is from the Dollar Tree, and it sets fairly quickly. So I just put it on, you know, at the spots where it would actually go on the wood, wiping off any, you know, smooges that smooged out the sides. And just attached it on, centered onto the sign. That's it, you guys, just like that. So the one at Walmart was like 35 bucks. I did mine for $5. Like, check it out. All right, everybody, DIY number 3. So here is the inspiration piece from Walmart. It's so pretty. I just love it. It's very, very simple. And this DIY, you guys, is so easy. So just taking some of that leftover canvas from the previous DIY, I'm using my little pokey tool here. And we're just pulling off the threads that go across so we get that frayed edge on the sides there. So these canvases are treated, obviously, so they have, I think it's a layer of gesso. I'm not 100% sure, but it's kind of white and crusty a little bit. So when you're pulling the threads across there, you do have to use your fingernail and kind of pull off some of the crusty stuff. But after that comes off, it gives it this beautiful frayed look on the edges. So again, just, you know, using the pokey thing, pulling it across, and giving it that frayed look. And you can go as far as you want to with the frayed look, or to make it them, you know, as long as you want. So we'll do that to all 4 sides. You can see I did all 4. And then using this frame that I got at the Dollar Tree, these are the frames that have that really nice wood grain effect on the edges there, pulling off the back and the pane of glass. And I just wanted to sand it down just a little bit so that the paint, like I'm going to use that same stain that I've been using for all of my DIYs, but I just wanted it to adhere a little bit better. So it doesn't change the color too much. It just kind of lightens it up a little bit with that really pretty colored stain. So going all the way around and painting it up there, and then obviously wiping it off. I didn't use a baby wipe this time because it's plastic, so I just used a paper towel. And now we're using Sandstorm by Folk Art, and we're just going to paint up this canvas here. So going along the entire thing in the inspiration piece, the canvas was definitely painted a off-white color, so this one actually worked really, really well. And just paint up the whole thing, make sure that you get all of those frayed edges as well. And then I just printed this decal off on my Cricut, the same as the inspiration piece. It says, "Family makes this house a home." And just, you know, smoothing it on with my little smoothie tool, pulling it off. It adhered perfectly to the canvas. And then I did take an extra glass pane here from another one of the frames that I got from the Dollar Tree. So I'm just sandwiching the canvas in between the two glass panes and then just placing it into the frame. Putting down the little tabby things. And you guys, that is it. Like, it took minutes to do this. And look at it. It's so nice. And so here is the side by side. This, you know what? Honestly, I think I like mine better. Theirs is $15. Mine is $3. I just love it. All right, everybody, that is it for our Look for Less Walmart dupes. I really think that they turned out so good, and I really like the jewelry box. That one's definitely my favorite, but why don't you let me know which one was your favorite down in the comments below. And while you're down there, have a look in my description box. I do have a Buy Me a Coffee link, so if you wanted to donate to my channel, that is very, very much appreciated. And if you like what you see, do me a solid. Tap that like button, maybe subscribe, tell your friends, you know, all of that jazz. Stay tuned for the gag reel. Bye, guys. So I don't know about you. No, I want to say so today. Okay. Reset. Now? What else? Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm walking through a store... So today we're going to be Come on, Sawatsky! And now there's a dog barking. I am going to... I will look at things and I'll be like, I can make that. I can make that. I can make that. I can make that. I can make it. So today we're going to be Now, most of the items that I have an itch. That was good. That was good.